Alex Hormozi used warm outreach to build his business that he sold for $46 million. And today I'm going to reveal his full warm outreach strategy that I use to launch and scale my own brand new business from 0 to 10K in just 60 days. I broke his strategy into 4 key steps, and I'll show you what they are, how I applied them to my niche, and how you can get so much interest in your offer you'll have to turn people away. When I started, I had quit my job, I was making $0, and I was kind of nervous. But I knew I wanted to build this business to 10K a month so that I knew I wouldn't have to go back and find another job. I knew I had something good to offer, but I didn't know who to sell to. So I started with this first step of Alex Hormozi's warm outreach method, and I compiled a list of my existing leads. A lead is literally anyone you've come in contact with, whether it's in person or online, and whose contact information you have stored somewhere. This can be phone numbers, emails, social media connections you might have on LinkedIn or Facebook, or it could be followers you have on Instagram, TikTok, or X. When I built my design agency to 10K a month, I found that most of my leads were either phone numbers I had or followers on Instagram. I started with Instagram and I actually got some of my first clients through that. But texting people is also extremely powerful. I actually had more success with texting because it feels more personal. If you're like me, you probably only text the same group of maybe 5 to 10 people. So when someone you haven't talked to in a long time gets a message from you that's warm and actually asking something interesting, it's something that they might get excited about. And it also led to more clients for my business. So put all of your contacts into one place where you can keep track of who you reached out to and when and what they said, so that you can go back and follow up if needed. I find that the best way to do this is in a spreadsheet. And if somehow you don't have any phone numbers or social media followers, or you've never used email and you actually don't have any contacts, that's highly unusual, but it's okay. What you can do instead is start with people you know in real life. This can be friends, family, acquaintances, co-workers, the barista at the coffee shop, or anyone else that you know in the real world. Anyone you interact with can be a lead if done correctly. Big emphasis on the if done correctly. And if you want to follow along with what I'm saying visually, I put my entire warm outreach script in a document that you can have for free. Just click the link in the description, download the document, and you can follow along if that's easier for you. Now, step 2 is to do some quick research and break the ice without being a weirdo. If you have 1,000 or more leads across all these different platforms, there's a good chance that you haven't talked to most of these people in a really long time. And so you don't want to just message them out of the blue, asking them to give you money, because that's some sus shit, and we don't like that. So what do you do instead? You remember that you are not a slimy sales robot that's just hunting people down for money. You are a human being talking to other human beings. You remember that humans like to have conversations, be heard, be understood, and have genuine connections with other people. We are very social creatures, so don't be cringe and remember to talk to other people like you actually have a soul. To do this, you want to give them a chance to talk about themselves by starting the conversation and making it about them. Check out their Instagram or their LinkedIn and just see what's new with them. Maybe they went on a trip, or they had a baby, or they got a new job. Anything even remotely interesting is a great place to start. You can use what you find in your opening message to them by saying something like, "Hey Jim, hope things are good with you. I know it's been a while and I saw that you and Pam just had a baby. Congrats. How's dad life treating you?" Here's the message I used to get my first client. "Hey Grace, been a while. Hope things are good. I saw you just bought a house. Congratulations. How's officially being a homeowner feel?" This question gives you a smooth transition into step 3, which is to use the ACA framework. ACA stands for Acknowledge, Compliment, Ask. When Jim responds saying something like, "Hey man, yeah, dad life is amazing. The baby's name is Thomas. Huge blessing, but definitely exhausted." This is when you use the ACA framework. First, you acknowledge and mirror back what Jim said to you. In this case, you might say, "Amazing and exhausted?" You've now acknowledged Jim's response, showing that you heard and understood what he said. Next, we compliment. You might say something like, "Sounds like a lot, but super worth it. Thomas sounds adorable and I love the name." If you want to go even a step further and be an all-star, try to associate a positive character trait with the compliment so that they feel good about themselves, and you can tie this into the ask. If I know Jim has a full-time job, I might say, "That's an amazing name. You must be really disciplined to be working full-time and taking care of Thomas." In this case, disciplined is the positive character trait that ties into the ask that I'm about to make. Now I ask a question to move the conversation in the direction that I want. If my offer was around fitness, I could ask, "With this adorable addition to the family, do you still get time to work out?" Notice that the character trait disciplined is important when it comes to fitness, so there's a subliminal connection that's made here. We just praised Jim for being disciplined, and working out consistently requires discipline. So if Jim needs help with this and we offer help, he might be more inclined to accept the help because he wants to continue being recognized as a disciplined person. If I go back to the message I sent Grace about being a homeowner, she replied, "Hey, nice to hear from you, Vic. It's honestly pretty dope. It was a really scary decision, not gonna lie, but it also feels incredible at the same time. How have things been with you?" This response gave me so much opportunity. I responded, "Scary and incredible? Sounds like a wild ride, lol, but big congrats. You must be very focused on building a good future, and that's awesome." In this case, since Grace asked me how I'm doing, I used it as an opportunity to segue into what I'm doing before asking a question that would lead up to my offer. I said, "I'm really good, thanks for asking. I actually started my own business, so it's been exciting. How's the tech job been treating you?" I won't go into the entire conversation, but in general, you'll probably go back and forth 1 to 3 times here. There's no secret formula here other than to remember that you're having an actual conversation with another person, so show that you actually care about them, what's going on in their life, while also guiding the conversation around the topic of your offer. In the case of Jim and talking about a fitness offer, you want to keep the conversation around lifestyle and fitness. Now that we've done all the legwork, it's time for step 4, which is to present your offer. When you present your offer, you want to do it tastefully. Do it in a way that won't damage the relationship or completely deplete all of the goodwill you just built out by having a nice conversation with them. That's why you say something like this. "By the way, I've started an online coaching program that helps new dads build 8 pounds of muscle in 60 days without sacrificing time spent with their child." So you're mentioning the ideal client, which is new dads, the dream result, which is building 8 pounds of muscle in 60 days, and you're removing the effort and sacrifice, which is they won't lose time spent with their new child. Next, you can briefly talk about some social proof if you already have any case studies. Then you can ask, "Do you know anyone who needs coaching to help them achieve end result?" In this case, you could ask, "Do you know any other new dads who want help building some muscle?" Now, in my case, I told Grace, I'm actually offering UX and web design services, helping startups and small businesses get more sales by making sure their products are actually good, lol. Do you know any founders or businesses who need help improving their products or visual brand online? I can send you a link to my portfolio showing my work that's helped other companies. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have just attached a few awesome photos of my work to get Grace more excited and willing to work with me, rather than waiting for her approval before sending them. But fortunately, it still worked out, but there's a good lesson that I learned there. I want to stress that it's super important you ask if they know anybody who needs coaching or help, rather than asking if they themselves want your coaching. If they don't want your coaching personally, it's very easy for them to say, "I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but I'll let you know if I do think of anyone." But it also gives them a chance to say, "Actually, I'm interested. I'd love to work with you." But most of all, it allows you to exponentially grow your own network. Instead of only asking if they're interested, you tap into their entire network by asking this question. If you know 300 people and each of them knows another 300 people, you have now increased your network to 90,000 potential clients. And that's why warm outreach this way is so freaking powerful. Grace's company was actually looking for a UX designer. So I was able to set up a meeting with the founder, and they actually became my first high ticket client with my design agency. And I made over $6,000 on that first sale. This is the power of warm outreach if done correctly. Now, we just went through a lot, and I want this to be as easy and simple as possible for you so that when you reach out to your potential clients, you have the highest chance of success possible. And that's why I took all of this information and put it into that step-by-step guide so that you can just follow the script and lock in some clients. I don't want you to make the same amateur mistakes that I made or that thousands of other coaches are still making. I want to see you be super successful. So if you want my warm outreach script for free, just click the link in the description below. It is guaranteed to help you successfully message the people you know, tap into the network of people they know, and get your first high-ticket client ASAP. Click the link in the description, get the script, and start crushing it with your business.